Hey, my name's Tony with Legendary Warriors. I just wanted to talk to you today about tips and tricks on shooting a longbow, how to string it up, how to store it. This one here is a 65-pound hickory at 28 inches. It's a real powerful bow. First thing I want to talk about is the storing the bow. Whenever you store it somewhere for a long period of time, just set it long ways instead of vertical. The thing about storing it horizontal is that the moisture content side of the bow will stay equalized throughout the whole limbs. When you store it up vertical, then all that moisture content tends to go into one limb, and then when you pull it back, one of the limbs tend to look like it's out of balance with the other one. I hadn't really had a bow break from it. Of course, I had never stored a bow for any real long periods of time vertical. It wouldn't hurt it for a day or two, but if you was to leave it like that the whole time you had the bow, I'm sure it would throw it off tremendously. This one here, in order to string it properly without doing any damage to the limbs or to your feet, a traditional way is to put your foot through the bow here, and then do it like this here, with it at the base of the foot, and then the handle behind the knee, and then your hand at the top, and pull back on it. But it's going to take a pretty strong person to do that with a 65-pound. Really, anything over 55 pounds gets pretty difficult to do it that way. So let me show you the way I've come up with it. Just take a soft cloth, throw it down on the ground here, and put the tip of your bow on it to keep picking up grass or anything like that. Just to keep the bow clean. And to pull back on it right here, put your knee at the handle, pull back on it, and that right there will take the tension off of the bow and unstring it. I always unstring mine whenever I'm not be using it for any length period. Say if you're going on a hunting expedition for about a week or so, it's not going to hurt to leave it strung up. It's just real long periods of times that it's left strung up, say months on end, that it actually starts to take away from the pull strength a little bit. The guy told me it wouldn't hurt for it to take away from this bow here a little bit of the pull strength, but yeah, I tend to unstring mine. This one here is a real power horse. I got a 40-pounder. It's a natural bow. And I went all natural on it with a clear coat. It's got the natural leather wrap. I use all genuine material. It's a USA made stuff product. I get my leather locally from a leather factory, and everything is high quality materials that I use. I use the best glue. I use the best lacquer, clear coat. Also the black lacquer makes a nice looking bow too. And to unstring this one here, I'm going to go ahead and just do it traditionally. Like I said, it's only 40 pounds. One down there by my foot, one behind the knee here, and then pull it toward me. And as you see, it come off really not hard. And then string her back up. And next thing would be, you don't really have to worry about the lacquer or anything for quite a long period. 5 to 10 years, it probably won't even start to turn in. But if it does, you can get some after about 10 years or so. You could just take some fine sandpaper, like 600 grit, and just kind of smooth it out where it's already started to turn color or something, and just put you another coat of. I recommend Men Wax is the best that you can buy in public. The Men Wax clear coat. It's a polyurethane or lacquer. One of the two you can use. But I've had my bow 3 years, and I hadn't had any power lost in it. I hadn't, of course, I don't leave it strung up. But my string, I have the same string. I actually have my bow with me here. Now, I made this one back in May of 2011, and this is a real power horse right here. This one here don't have a real high shine on it. It has a little bit of a shine. I've done some wood carving burnt work into the wood, and they put a coat of polyurethane over it. Used the genuine leather wraps, had the same wrap on it for the past 3 years, the same snake skin, and same string. I mean, they just don't wear out. It'll be something I'll have for centuries that I could hand down. But yeah, this one here, you gotta position the target to where it won't be knocked over, because that will knock the target over. And also the black one at 65 pounds. Mine is 75 pounds, or a little bit better at 28 inches. A lot of people, that's not comfortable for pulling, but even 65-pound bow will completely knock over the foam target behind me here. And it's just a traditional target you can get at Walmart, more modern target. But I've got it positioned now behind the iron chair behind it, and I've also got a jack on top of it to kind of hold it still, because when that 65-pound bow hits it, I mean, it's with a punch. Just a second here. Now, anything over 50 pounds, generally everybody wants to wear a fingered glove to shoot with, and that's good. I used to never wear one until I made that 75-pound. If you pull it back without any kind of protection on your fingers, it will actually make the tips of your fingers go numb and can cause nerve damage in the ends of them. So I don't suggest it. You know, until you get a good feel for the bow, use some kind of protection on your fingers. You know, 40 pounds, you can shoot it bare finger, no problem. Yeah, I like to wear the finger on the gloves, and then also everybody wears a bracer or some kind of arm guard to shoot archery, because people so many times got slapped by that string in the forearm there. And one thing I was going to demonstrate was how to properly hold a bow, how to position the arrow, and how to shoot it. One thing is that we all have a natural tendency to kind of pull back and straighten the arm out. Well, let me position this where you can see it. But you can see where my arm's straightened out there. Well, that string's going to catch it every time. You don't want to do that. It's a natural tendency. But what you want to do is just kind of keep that arm bent just a little bit, and look how much clearance it gives you right there. It's like 2-3 inches clearance. You'll get to where you won't have to wear a guard anymore. But I'm going to shoot this one here, and just kind of go over a couple things on the tips, how to shoot it, and how to get a fast fire. Traditional people that's shot archery in a couple thousand years ago, whenever they were preparing for battle, they would stick their arrows in the ground, stick them straight up. That just allows for a quicker reload, and you ain't got to fumble for your arrows. These modern arrows are fiberglass. They're a heavier composite than what your regular compound bow shoots. These here are made by Gold Tip. They're really good arrows. I haven't had any problems out of them. I've really shot them I don't know how many times, more than I can count. And the main thing is that it's trying to get the arrow to stay on the arrow rest. A lot of people fumble trying to get that thing to just stay on right here. And when you're holding it straight, you know, it tends to fall off a little bit for a lot of people. Of course, you can pinch it right here on the back of the arrow and kind of twist it a little bit as you pull back, and that'll keep it on there. But something I like to do, and I noticed Brian Ferguson also does, is that once you pull back for a shot, is kind of tilt it a little bit of 45, I guess you'd say. And that way that arrow, it's not going anywhere. I mean, you pull it and, you know, jump around a little bit. I've actually gotten where I can take off running and do some shots that way. And as long as I've got it turned like that right there, that arrow don't fall off. Also, another way is you can kind of rest a finger over the top of it a little bit if you want to. With that, always use feather fletching on a longbow. Those feathers won't hurt you. let's see, what else was I going to tell you? Oh yeah, to naturally straight out the arrow, I never use a knock. A lot of people like the knocks just because they have an idea of where to stick the arrow, where they need to go from. Traditionally, a bowstring needs to be 3 inches shorter than the actual longbow, and what that does is give you about 5.5 inches clearance right here for your feathers fletching, and that way it's not being binded up right here on the arrow rest. And it also keeps, if the string's too long, you're going to get slapped right there no matter how you hold that bow. And so you want at least 3 inches shorter. But what I do is I just kind of put my finger over the top of that arrow there, and it straightens it out. And that's right where I want to come back to. Once I get it on that string, it's not real tight. You know, a lot of people like the string where it kind of hooks into the knock.